Welcome to the Rare History Channel. Jim Morrison, 13 fascinating facts about the Lizard King. Erupting onto the music scene as a rock and roll legend and poet, Jim Morrison, the charismatic lead singer of The Doors, lived a short but impactful life that has forever etched his name into the annals of music history. With a persona defined by wild charisma and a poetic soul, Morrison has long fascinated fans with his untamed lifestyle, creative genius, and enigmatic personality. While many know him as the voice behind classics like Light My Fire and People Are Strange, there are numerous fascinating and shocking facts about his life that remain largely unknown. This video delves into 13 rare and interesting facts about this rock music icon. Fact number 1. An academic start, the scholar behind the rock star. Far from the typical rebellious rock star archetype, Jim Morrison was a man of education. He graduated from the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, in 1965, where he studied theater arts and cinematography. During his university years, he developed a deep appreciation for philosophy and literature, with Nietzsche, Rimbaud, and Kerouac among his favorite authors. These influences are evident in his songwriting, where he combined rock and roll with poetic and often cryptic lyrics. His pursuit of knowledge did not end with his formal education, continuing to educate himself throughout his life, confirming the coexistence of the intellect and the rebel within him. Number 2. Fear of abandonment, deep-seated childhood trauma. Morrison's emotional world was marked by a fear of abandonment, rooted in a deeply traumatic event in his childhood. During a family move, he was accidentally left behind. The absence of his family, even if temporary, had a lasting impact on Morrison. This traumatic event significantly affected his psychological makeup and later found expression in his lyrics. The themes of alienation, solitude, and existential fear that dominate his songs can be traced back to this incident, echoing his internal struggle and the fear of being left alone. Number 3. Seminal childhood experience. One of the defining moments of Morrison's childhood occurred during a family trip through the New Mexico desert when he witnessed a car accident involving a Native American family. This event had a profound impact on Morrison, and he referred to it in the song Peace Frog, saying it was the first time he tasted fear. He later spoke about the incident as a formative experience in his understanding of life and death, influencing much of his poetry and songwriting. Number 4. Creation of The Doors, an idea born on the beach. The inception of The Doors, a cornerstone of 1960s rock, can be traced back to a conversation on Venice Beach, California. Morrison, having graduated from UCLA, bumped into fellow alumnus Ray Manzarek in the summer of 1965. The band's name was inspired by Aldous Huxley's book The Doors of Perception, referencing the gateway to an enlightened or altered state of consciousness. It reflected Morrison's fascination with spirituality and the metaphysical, emblematic of their unconventional sound, which combined rock with blues, jazz, and a heavy dose of psychedelia. Number 5. Arrests and legal troubles, a life of defiance. Morrison's audacious spirit and defiance of societal norms often landed him in legal trouble. His infamous arrest took place during a concert in Miami in 1969, where he was charged with indecent exposure and public intoxication. This incident, which he vehemently denied, added to his rebellious image and attracted international attention. Legal proceedings dragged on until his death in 1971, with Morrison appealing the conviction. In a final twist to this saga, he was posthumously pardoned in 2010 by the Florida State Clemency Board, clearing his name after 39 years. Number 6. Ode to Friedrich Nietzsche, a nod to the philosopher. Morrison was an ardent admirer of the works of philosophers and poets, with Friedrich Nietzsche being a significant influence. His fascination with Nietzsche is embodied in the Doors song The End, which Morrison described as an ode to Friedrich Nietzsche. The song mirrors Nietzsche's nihilistic perspectives and challenges the listener to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature and mortality. Its dark and haunting lyrics and the infamous Oedipal section reflect Nietzsche's philosophy, illustrating the depth of Morrison's intellectual curiosity and his knack for transforming complex philosophical concepts into riveting song lyrics. Number 7. The Lizard King, embracing transformation. Morrison's moniker, the Lizard King, sprouted from his poem, The Celebration of the Lizard. He was fascinated by the lizard's ability to shed its skin, viewing it as a symbol of transformation and rebirth. This idea resonated with him both personally and artistically, as he was known for his transformative performances and his continual evolution as a lyricist and poet. The reptilian imagery in his works and his alter ego, the Lizard King, underscore his exploration of shamanistic themes and his desire for continual self-reinvention. Number 8. The Young Lion, an iconic photoshoot. In 1967, a photoshoot with Joel Brodsky led to the creation of some of Morrison's most memorable and iconic images. Known as the Young Lion photoshoot, it captured a bare-chested Morrison, his wild mane of curls reminiscent of a lion's mane. The raw and primal energy of the photos, combined with Morrison's smoldering intensity, cemented his image as a rock and roll sex symbol. These photos still epitomize the charismatic and magnetic persona of Morrison, encapsulating his wild spirit and allure. Number 9. An estranged family, the prodigal son. Morrison was born into a military family, with his father, George Stephen Morrison, being a Rear Admiral in the U.S. Navy. Despite this, Morrison had a tumultuous relationship with his parents, characterizing his upbringing as oppressive. In an act of rebellion and perhaps to craft his own narrative, he often claimed his parents were deceased. The extent of this estrangement was such that his parents were reportedly unaware of his rise to fame as the frontman of The Doors until his arrest in Miami in 1969, demonstrating the deep chasm between Morrison and his family. Number 10. Cinematic aspirations, the filmmaker in Morrison. Before he became the charismatic frontman of The Doors, Morrison had dreams of being a filmmaker. He studied theater arts and cinematography at UCLA, where he produced 2 short student films, First Love and Obscura. Even after achieving global fame with The Doors, Morrison's cinematic aspirations never waned. He harbored a desire to return to film, reflecting his multifaceted artistic persona and the depth of his creativity beyond music. Number 11. Death in Paris, the unsolved mystery. Morrison's premature death at the age of 27 in Paris in 1971 catapulted him into the notorious 27 Club, a group of influential musicians who met their untimely ends at this age. Official reports attributed his death to heart failure, but the absence of an autopsy has given rise to a plethora of conspiracy theories surrounding the circumstances of his demise. From speculations of drug overdose to theories of him faking his death, Morrison's untimely passing remains shrouded in mystery. Number 12. A lasting legacy, the undying influence. Despite his life being cut tragically short, Morrison's influence on music and popular culture remains indomitable. The Doors have sold over 100 million albums globally, attesting to their enduring popularity. Furthermore, Morrison's potent lyrics, charismatic stage presence, and embodiment of the rebellious spirit of the 1960s counterculture have secured his status as one of rock and roll's most iconic figures. Number 13. A posthumous pardon, clearing the charges. One of the most surprising facts about Morrison is his posthumous pardon in 2010. Almost 41 years after the notorious Miami concert, where he was accused of indecent exposure and public intoxication, the state of Florida granted him a pardon. This action cleared him of the charges that had tarnished his reputation, a startling twist to the saga of the Lizard King. This unexpected development further fueled the aura of controversy and intrigue surrounding Morrison, even decades after his death.